How cute is this? Oh my gosh, this is my brand new little plant pocket holder. I'm obsessed with it right now. Whether you use it for plants, which my daughter does, she has a whole bunch, or yarn, hooks, organization, or just a cute little wall decor item. It's beginner friendly with a little spice. So if you're comfy with a half double crochet stitch and want to learn some cool shaping, you're gonna love it. Let's go ahead and talk materials real quick. You're going to need a size 3 lightweight DK sized yarn, a crochet hook that's a G6 4mm, and a wooden dowel so that way you can hang it. So the yarn that I used is my own EcoLuxe Gemstone Bamboo yarn in the color Ivory, which I'll have a link to in the description section below. There is going to be a kit available, a kit option available for this project, and it's going to include the EcoLuxe Bamboo yarn, the dowel, the crochet hook, all the notions, and a printed copy of the pattern shipped directly to you so that you can just jump right into the project and you don't have to worry about anything. Now let's go ahead and get started. To make this plant pocket, we're actually going to start at the bottom point and make increases every single row to create a triangle shape. We're going to begin by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. For row 1, we're going to make 2 half double crochet stitches in the first chain. Those skipped 2 chains actually do count as our first half double crochet stitch, so technically we will have a total of 3 stitches at the end of row 1. Just like that. For row 2, we will chain 1 and then turn our work. We're going to make an increase half double crochet stitch in the first stitch. Look just like that. 1 half double crochet in the second stitch. And then an increase half double crochet in the top chain of that chain 2 that we skipped, because it does count as a stitch. We will end row 2 with a total of 5 stitches. Awesome. Looking just like this. So you'll get an idea of where the increases are and where the 1 half double crochet is. For row 3, we will chain 1 and then turn our work. We will make an increase half double crochet stitch in the first stitch. In the second stitch, we're going to slip stitch. This is going to be the beginning of our crunch stitch. So slip stitch. We're going to half double crochet in the next stitch. Great. Slip stitch into the next stitch. And then end row 3 by making an increase half double crochet in the last stitch. And we'll get it. There we go. 1, 2. Awesome. Start to see the pattern here a little bit, maybe. Let's go for row 4. For row 4, we will start by chaining 1 and then turning our work. For every single row, we're going to make an increase half double crochet stitch in the first stitch. Then in the middle of the row, this is where we're going to take on a slip stitch, half double crochet, repeat. So slip stitch, and then half double crochet. You'll also notice that you're going to slip stitch on top of half double crochet, slip stitch, and half double crochet on top of slip stitch. Okay, 1 more slip stitch right before the last stitch, and in the last stitch we're going to make an increase half double crochet. One, 2. Great, let's go ahead and put that down for a second. What I want you to notice is that for every row, we're going to start with an increase half double crochet, then the very next stitch is going to be a slip stitch. At the very end of the row, we're going to end with a slip stitch, and then the last stitch is going to be an increase half double crochet. For rows 5 through 45, we're just going to repeat that pattern. So through the end of row 45, every single row is going to begin by chaining 1, turning your work, making an increase half double crochet stitch in the first stitch. The second stitch should always be a slip stitch. Then jump right into that pattern of half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, making sure you make a half double crochet on top of a slip stitch and that you make a slip stitch on top of a half double crochet. At the end of every single row, you should end with a slip stitch in the second to last stitch And in the very last stitch, you should always end with 2 half double crochet stitches or an increase half double crochet. All right, I think you got it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will meet you at the end of row 45 to show you what we're going to do next. Great, once you have made it to row 45, we have ended, that is the last of our increase rows. We are not going to increase any row here on out, we're done. But what we were able to accomplish was getting the width that we need. If you wanted to keep going, you can, but not with just one skein. if you have more than one skein of yarn to play with, then you can absolutely keep going. But what I basically went to, the reason why we went to 45 rows is to get this measurement, this dimension, because we are going to take these 2 points and we're going to fold them together to make that basket or that closure. And if you notice, by folding those in, this shrinks quite a bit. So now we have reached how wide we want our basket to be for the folds. And now we're going to start just building to give us length in the project, how deep this pocket is going to be. So to do that, for row 46, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to half double crochet in the first stitch. Ooh, come on. Half double crochet. And then pick up our pattern. We made a half double crochet stitch in the first stitch because the next stitch is a half double crochet, and we want to slip stitch on top of half double crochet. And half double crochet on top of slip stitch. If I haven't reminded you yet, just another reminder to keep your stitches on the looser side. The tighter your stitches, the more, especially with the slip stitches here, it's going to be harder to work into the stitches in the following row. And you also notice the tighter the stitch tension, the more this is going to kind of like bunch in. We want to be able to see what's going on. So just kind of watch your stitch tension, maintain your stitch tension. And repeat the pattern. Slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet all the way across. And I'll meet you at the end of row 46 to show you how to end 46 and how to begin 47. Finishing row 46. We are going to slip stitch here. We're going to end with a half double crochet stitch. Fantastic. Great. So that's what we'll be looking at the end of row 46. And then moving on to 47. All right, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. Now we want to continue the pattern where we're making a half double crochet on top of a slip stitch and a slip stitch on top of a half double crochet. So what we need to do for row 47 is we're going to start the row with a half double crochet. Every row for this pattern is going to begin and end with a half double crochet. Okay, just keeping the sides straight and even. That's just how we're going to begin and end every row, with a half double crochet. The next stitch is a slip stitch, so we're going to half double crochet on top of the slip stitch. And then we can jump right into our pattern of slip stitch on top of half double crochet and half double crochet on top of slip stitch across. Now, I guess what you can take away from this is just really pay attention to what's happening in the row below. Remember that every row will begin and end with a half double crochet stitch. So the row 46 repeat will be half double crochet and then jump right into the slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch. But the row 47, we're going to end up making one half double crochet in the first 2 stitches and then jumping into the slip stitch, half double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet pattern. For the rest of this section where we're really trying to just build up length, you're going to repeat row 46 and row 47 through the end of row 62. It's going to be a little bit of a jump, but go ahead and make it there. I will meet you at the end of row 62 to show you how we're going to then tie everything off and then bring in the dowel and attach this piece to the dowel rod. Just in case you needed it, I wanted to finish row 47 with you because Row 47 both begins and ends with 1 half double crochet in the last 2 stitches and the first 2 stitches. Great, I think you're good to go. Continue on, and again, I will meet you at the end of row 62. Last stitch of row 62. Boom, right there. Great. Now go ahead and grab your scissors. Cut a tail long enough for you to weave in your ends, but so right about there, okay? So that's about 5-6 inches. Don't want to be too excessively long because we're trying to make this whole thing with just 1 skein of yarn. Tie off your project. Okay, so we don't need to weave in our ends right this second. We can wait on that. What I do want you to do is I want you to flip your project so that the pointed end is now at the top and the 2 sides are down closest to you. Go ahead and fold and fold. Now, there's no specific like at this stitch right here, make your crease. No, that isn't a thing. But what you can do is you can go ahead and fold one side, fold the other, and then what I will do is first I'll try to get this side to align at the edge. So when I join, it's like this clean, I can have this all lined up. The other thing that I want to do is I want to look at the bottom. If I, for example, like over folded and then I wanted this side to line up with my edge and I looked at the bottom, I would see, oh, the first one curved in, okay? And then if I underfolded, like went here, and then I took this side and I lined it up and I looked at the bottom, I would see, oh, this didn't quite match up. It's too short. Now, of course, it's your wall hang, so you can do whatever you want, but what I will say is go ahead and just keep playing with this until you're able to align this with the side straight, and you look at the bottom and it's all like together. It's got this even symmetry going on. Fantastic. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our yarn needle, and we're going to grab what's our remaining amount of yarn that we have. Should be enough. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not whip stitching. I didn't like how the whip stitch looked on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from the bottom, insert my yarn needle, and try to make it through like all 3 layers towards the edge. Bottom row. I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot here to secure the knot so it doesn't come undone. And then I'm going to actually weave. So I'm going to go from the top to the bottom, and then from the bottom to the top, and then from the top to the bottom, bottom to the top. It actually made a really nice look. Just pinch the 3 layers together. Go up as close, like in that last row, like try to keep everything towards the edge as much as possible. What's nice is since we are using the same color, you really cannot see if things go astray, if things aren't perfect. No one's going to be able to tell because it's all going to camouflage. All right, at this corner right here, where I have stopped, I've actually made it to the very top, which is very nice. I'm going to go ahead and stick my hand through. I'm going to try to separate to see, did I accidentally leave any major gaps, you know, have too big of a gap between my stitches, and see that one right there. I might go back and I might actually fix that hole right there because I don't want that. And this is why it's so important to go like try to separate and see, because I haven't actually tied anything off yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix that, and then when you're ready, go ahead and tie this off by inserting your yarn needle into the work. I hold some of the slack back with my thumb right there, so that way I can take that little loop and I can twist it so it makes this X shape right there. Then take my yarn needle and go underneath the loop through, and then I'll slowly guide that knot down so it'll land where I want it to land. But I am not going to tighten that because I'm going to go backwards and I'm going to fix that hole. Right, so give me a second, I'll meet back up with you, and then we will move on to joining this side together and then attaching the dowel. The next section that I want to join together is this section right here. I want to make sure that this is closed, so if there's anything that is bringing a weight or resistance on the inside, this is going to catch it really nicely. I'm going to put my hand behind because I don't want anything to go out the back. I want to keep it right here. So inserting my yarn needle into both layers, then coming out both layers, even that end when we go to clean everything up. And I'm going to continue not to mattress stitch, but to weave. Right here, I'm going to take my yarn needle, I'm going to insert back into where we joined front and pop it back out so that I can make my secure loop, twist. There we go. Cutting a long enough tail for me to be able to weave in that end. And now we have secured our basket around a dowel. Awesome. The last thing we need to do is just make our little handle so this can hang on the wall. So with whatever amount of yarn you have left to play with, which probably isn't going to be that much, we're going to start by, so there's a hole here in the dowel. You see that? We're going to start by inserting the yarn through the hole. There we go. Got it? Okay, long enough of a tail for you to be able to like tuck that in, tie a knot. And then I'm going to take this end, keep that apart. And I'm going to wrap it a couple times just to kind of clean it up, make it look cute. Okay? And then tie a knot again so that way that is secure. And we're going to go ahead and use your finger and gauge, okay, I want it to hang about this low, or you can adjust it. Be like, okay, I only want it to hang this low from the top, or I want it to, you can really gauge this, control this, use your creativity. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take what's left of my yarn. I'm gonna give myself a bunch of slack, depending on how much you have left. Speed things up, I'm gonna use the trick with my yarn needle. Through the hole. There we go. But this time I'm going to keep pulling. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap left. I'm going to go back through the hole. Okay. I'm going to tie a knot. And then I'm going to line this up and I'm going to match. And this is going to help strengthen the cord that's hanging on the wall. Just kind of make sure it's all in line with each other. Fabulous. Okay. I'm going to wrap a couple more times over here. Tie a knot with the original tail. Then I'm going to take my yarn needle and these tails and clean them up. Now the last thing we have to do is just weave in all of these tails and you're done. That's it. Oh, I hope you love it. And that's it, guys. You now have your very own handmade plant pocket. Don't forget, there is a full kit, the written pattern, and the blog post all linked down in the description section below. I hope you have the best day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.